seeing that those skills were valued in the workplace. Now, we have many other things that we are able to offer, and many firms actually use us to be able to develop their staff. So many of our mentoring programs, we have over 140 students in this institution mentored during the year. Many of those companies that provide mentors see it as a developmental tool for their younger employees. I'm going to do a quick plug here, but just to say that if any of you are sitting there and thinking we really would like to be involved in this, there is a menu of opportunities that is floating about, and if we don't get you that way, we'll email it afterwards. But there are so many things that we need to learn from you. Hopefully we can offer you things as well.
Okay. John, I'm going to ask you to say a few words on this one as well.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Thank you for that. Debbie's right. I mean, the two sort of silos have never really been sort of melded together, and yet our job as educators is ultimately to enable these young people to enter the world of work and to contribute, to the community and beyond. So it's vital that we do work closely together, and I think it's a two-way thing as well, because what we've found thus far is that we've learnt a lot from employers, them telling us the skills that they're looking for, so we can help develop them in the young people at the academy. But also, they can learn from us as well about working effectively with young people, helping to develop, resilience that we talked about earlier, and some of the skills that we have as professional teachers as well. And what we found, it's been a real two-way thing. And employers who've come into the academy, and we do sort of open tours, and anybody here from any business is welcome to arrange to come and have a tour at any time. And it's not sort of a sort of show tour or anything. It's the school exactly how it normally is. All say about how much they've learnt from coming to us as well. So it is a definitely sort of two-way thing, and the way to break things down is by talking, is by sharing ideas and realising there's a lot of common ground, particularly in Milton Keynes as well. Obviously there are some barriers, there's cost barriers, clearly, there's time barriers, but they can be overcome, and we have some amazing examples sitting in the audience tonight from employers and on the stage here, and from our staff as well, who've actively engaged in this strategy, and of course these young people, where it can work, and it will work. Lots of schools are jumping on this bandwagon now because they've been told to by the government. It's become an agenda item. Ofsted are now interested in that. We are not there because we have to. We've been doing this for a few years because we want to, and because it's so important. And there's nothing to stop us developing further if we want it to happen. And we certainly do, and I know the employers do as well. So we are set fair to keep working very hard together and break down these barriers.
Okay, thank you very much. What do you do if you've got organisations who maybe don't respond? What are your methods of trying to get to build that bridge with them?
Well, we're quite tenacious, and Debbie certainly is, and getting those links, and obviously we are looking at the way that we reach out through our website, our social media, things like that. Debbie, I don't know if you want to add to some of that.
Well, we're always open to new methods, but we try and be as open as possible. Once an email pops into our email boxes, there's no getting away, so we will come back again and again. If we can't tempt you with one issue, we'll tempt you with something else. But yes, I mean, it's just, we have to show that we're serious. We have to show employers that we value their input. And it's all about growing sustainable relationships. It is a two-way thing, as John said. And, hopefully by proving our worth and showing our wonderful, wonderful students to employers, that relationship develops.
Good, thank you. Mike, I'm sure you're chomping at the bit on this one.
We're chomping at the bit to confirm that, yes, Debbie is extremely very good indeed. Because of our working hours, if my email goes at 6:30 in the morning, it's there's a handful of people it could be, but it's often Debbie saying, look, I'm going to catch you before office starts so we can talk about what we can do. I welcome that, because for any of us in industry, it doesn't matter whether it's haulage, transport, law, any industry, retail, the reality is that business is downtime. When you're having to invest time in dealing with education, coming to speak to the school or having students in, it's something that business has to build in. You've got to provide staff, you've got to provide HR situations. I would certainly say as an employer, we try and attempt to try and reduce some of the red tape that's required with it, some of the forms, some of the issues of health and safety. It all has to be done, but it's got to be streamlined so that we as employers can reduce the downtime that's impacting on that. But I have to say, it is a hugely rewarding thing for me, other colleagues of mine at all levels to actually engage with the academy. It's actually something that switches you off from your normal day job as such, and it's something really, really sort of rewarding to come in and be involved in mentoring, interviews and the like. One suggestion I would certainly have is it's so often the case that we have one person in. I think most of us have experienced that. One person come from work experience. Not only is it daunting for them, but actually it can be quite daunting from the employer. Somebody's got to mentor them, look after them for that week, find them jobs. And none of us just want to say, go and make the tea, go and do some photocopying. It's finding something for them to do. So one thing that I'm certainly more pushing into is having groups coming into the office, seeing what it's really about. What's a day in the life of like? Something that improves on that sort of career leaflet of what is that job, what is this job. So trying to actually deal with several in one go is actually probably more beneficial from an industry point of view, and it's very rewarding to know that you're reaching out to that number of people. But so far as reducing downtime is concerned, working with the school, the academy, making sure that it's time that isn't going to impact on our core hours, whether we're 24/7 or otherwise, when there's a good time, and the academy are fantastic at accommodating us so that that works in a really good way. So from that point of view, it works very well.
Good. Thank you, Mike. Jez, a word of warning. I'm going to be asking you this question in a second. But Mike, so what would you say to employers who aren't involved and don't engage at this point, or maybe just engage a little bit? Because at the end of the day, it's, what's in it for you. You're trying to make a profit, and so that you can reinvest and continue to build and grow as a business. So there's got to be returns for you, and I'm sure there are plenty. So could you, what would you be saying to employers who maybe don't, and what's in it for them?
Sure. Well, there's no question about sort of personal satisfaction in the sense of putting something into community. For any industry, whether it's direct marketing, we all have to run a business. Everybody has to be engaged in that. It doesn't matter whether you're a charity, whether you're a business, whatever it is. So actually working with the community reaches out, and from a business point of view, it gets connections. It's not how you should be driven to deal with it. It's just a natural attachment that we have. And certainly being involved with this academy for so many years, with the support that they have from lots of other organisations, it's a pleasure to meet other people and a pleasure to get to know other people in so many different sectors. So from that point of view, it's very important. But I'm going to draw an analogy here. How satisfying has it been in the last few days where we're seeing how the MK Dons have been signing some local people from Milton Keynes, from Bletchley. And you read it and you think, how fantastic is that? They're bringing somebody from the local community into their job, into their industry. Well, we're not into football. We're into football. We're not running a football club, but we're running a business. And when you can actually bring somebody in that has local knowledge, that has been educated locally, that can come through, it actually gives that same level of satisfaction. So whilst we do recruit from a national basis, it's so nice indeed to be able to see somebody coming through local academic places and coming into our workplace and then seeing them develop. So it's the same sort of process, and it's extremely rewarding. It's very, very expensive for us to go to agencies, recruitment, looking out for people. If we can have people that are homegrown, if I can put it that way, then not only is it cost effective, but you get people that want to be there, you want them there, you know what their background is, and from that point of view, it's got to be beneficial for any business, whatever it is.
Good. That's yes, I think you hit the nail on the head, and it is about, we can all sound altruistic, but it is about what's in it for the organisation. There's lots. I know I've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on recruitment, and you go through interviews and you're meeting someone for an hour or two each time and having to make a decision. To get involved with people coming through and developing and learning, you're taking people on that you know and you've built a relationship with, and the loyalty is there because it's been a two-way street. So thank you for that. It's a reminder to those out there that yes, we're a profit-making organisation, they will be saying to themselves, and they have to make money. So rather than it just being nice, there has to be something in it for them, and there certainly is, without question. Jess, are you ready for that response that I asked for?
Although you've not really left me much to say. So, yeah, I very much agree with everything you just said, but Nifty Lift is very much a community employer, and paying it forward and investing in the future generations is not just benefiting the student, the company, it's benefiting Milton Keynes as a city, and it's improving that social mobility and creating those movements within the community. And yeah, it's basically committing to improving the city and improving the people's lives of the students within Milton Keynes, especially from the areas that aren't so advanced in the city, and there's quite a few within Milton Keynes. So it's mainly a focus of investing in the future, and bringing that talent, nurturing that talent into the business is very important to be able to grow the future of the business.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Now, I'd like to, that's from the employers, and it's from the education, because that's where the potential barrier is. I think there has been a barrier over the years, and these guys seem to be going a long way to breaking them down. But let's hear from the students as to what they've heard. We're going to hear from JY in a second, but before we do, Shazman.
What I think is it's really important to have loads of different businesses getting involved with the school, so we can actually go out and see how their businesses are run and develop the skills that we need to when we actually leave school. So we do have lots of businesses coming into Milton Keynes Academy and actually helping us, but it's better to actually have more, so we know what sort of skills that they need and what sort of jobs they offer. So I just think a lot of businesses just need to come in Milton Keynes Academy and just see the talents that we actually have, give us a chance, and yeah, take it from there. Yeah,
I mean, this is your platform now to say to businesses out there who may be engaged, may not be engaged, to say, look, you know, we want to get involved. So can we have your thoughts as well, please?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for both businesses and the students, because if you look at it from the businesses side, they can go to thousands of different schools and look from a selection of hundreds of pupils and select the finest ones they want, and they can even just train them and develop them into the employers that they need, instead of going out and asking for employers to come to them. I think it saves time, and I think it will save money and make their process a whole lot easier, and they'll have a better workforce overall.
Good, thank you. Shazman was saying to me earlier that the work experience sometimes, because of the health and safety issues, it's sometimes a bit of a pain for employers to take people on work experience on the age of 16. I mean, we're a non-profit making organisation. We don't have any employees at Secklow Sound, and this week we were putting someone through what is a 4-week work experience session, and it takes us to have to come out of our homes because we're not employed, we're not directly there, and it struck me, well, if we can do it, and I'm sure others can. I know that people in business are having to focus on that day, that week, but this is an investment of time. Do we have any employers in the audience feel brave enough to throw in some comments or comment on what they've heard so far, or ask any questions of the panel? Deathly silence.
While you're waiting...
We don't have any brave employers out there. I don't believe it. Sorry, Debbie.
While you're waiting for somebody to shuffle to the podium over there, can I just say that the work experience that you've just outlined can be quite onerous, at least the perception of it is, if it's in a 2-week or a 4-week block or something like that. But actually there are many different forms of work experience, and we've had some fantastic experiences for our students where it's been quite light touch as far as employers are concerned, and maybe not the traditional 2 weeks